Big guy, we're back.
Oh, hey man. I was just watching some By the Drip on my TV over here. What a great channel.
I'm absolutely shocked that you have a new background. This is 2 weeks in a row. It's unbelievable.
I finally took some liberties. I painted my wall blue.
Hmm.
Got rid of the bookshelf.
Looks great.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No
You
worries,
doing
big
some
guy.
laundry?
Yeah, this one's a bit wrinkly, eh?
Yeah, it's also not hung up properly.
No one cares, man.
Yeah,
Just
we
to have
won't
a
we won't
background.
get too worried about that. Hey, have you seen the new episode of By the Drip that just released on YouTube?
I'm
I
watching
got
it
it
on my
playing.
TV. I'm
Oh
watching it
no
on
way!
my
I'm
TV
I'm
too.
watching it over here. I love this episode.
Okay, let's check it out.
That one line that you say, fantastic.
Yeah, by the drip.
The rest of the stuff you talk about, it's kind of dull.
Nonsense.
Nonsense. Dave, we're back in the weekly.
We're back.
What are we talking about this week, man? You want to just hang out for a bit, or you wanna get into it?
We're talking about Michelin stars, man. We don't have time to hang out.
Right.
Time is stars.
I'm not sure I understand that formula.
I don't know, man. I don't know what the saying is.
Time is money. They say time is money.
Yeah, but we're talking about Michelin stars, not money. That was last episode, the money.
Did you see that By the Drip got a Michelin star?
We finally did it.
We broke through, dude.
We finally, feels so good.
Yeah, I think the Michelin Man is coming this week to deliver it.
4 new tires.
I don't actually know how that works, but let's talk about it. Let's brainstorm. A Michelin guide for specialty coffee. So Michelin guide, if you're not familiar, along with the world's 50 best restaurants and 50 best bars, has long been the gold standard for evaluating the top iterations of culinary excellence. Michelin stars bring prestige and recognition to the restaurants that earn them, marking them, as places of the highest quality. Receiving a Michelin star or appearing on the 50 best list is not just about the food, service, and ambiance. It also serves as a powerful marketing tool, attracting diners from around the world, like the two of us, that's you and me, Dave, fascinated to experience the best in any craft. Michelin guide for specialty coffee. Give me your thoughts here.
I think we need something like this.
Why?
Why not? Let's just have some fun.
Sorry,
Isn't that
you
your
finish
saying?
your train of thought. You finish your train of thought. I won't cut you off like that again.
Oh, thanks. Really appreciate that. I think we need more marketing tools for the average cafe. Maybe not average, but for cafes. It creates talking points. It creates marketing. It gets people fired up anytime there's a list of anything. 7 best coffee shops in Amsterdam. People are going to have a take on that. And that's good in a way for specialty coffee. The way we can have new customers or curious customers try out different cafes on that list. So I think it's important that someone, even if it's not perfect, someone out there create these type of lists and categorize coffee shops on whatever, the top 7 most important things, from customer service to the quality of coffee, etc., etc. What do you think,
Yeah.
big guy?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think having a guideline, a structure, some sort of format to follow will just create. You're giving me the indication to keep scrolling. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm trying. Let's try
Kind
to
of like
do
the
it.
applause going on with the audience. Let me 1 second here. Let me just keep scrolling. So, yeah, having a list, I think, just helps the industry in so many ways. The marketing prowess that comes with that, the general visibility that would come, the conversation, which I think is what you're talking about there. People have the chattering, oh, they don't deserve to be on here, oh, they should be higher, they should be lower, whatever that dialogue is. Really beneficial for any industry, because it just creates chatter. Chatter creates creates marketing buzz. Marketing buzz turns into sales, revenue, opportunities for businesses, and that starts to snowball into more and more important pathways for an industry like coffee. What do you think of? You've been to Michelin star restaurants. I've been with you before. When we travel, we look at these sort of lists, and we don't necessarily seek them out, but every now and then we'll go and sort of treat ourselves, or whatever that might look like, to Michelin star restaurant, or maybe a bar on the top 50 list. What are your impressions generally?
Yeah, I think you need, as a consumer, you need something to help you make a decision. And I would say it used to be programs or websites like Yelp, or I don't know, whatever, food.com, and you want to have someone weigh in and give you a guideline of like what's good and what's not. And
right.
we don't really have that for cafes right now, or roasteries. We have a few, here and there, but it would be nice to have a big brand like Michelin come in and say, these are the world's best cafes, and here's why. So I think it's important for our industry, and would love for someone to kind of, take charge of that. It helps us when we're traveling on places to go. We're not going to Michelin star restaurants, but 50 best bars when we're looking for a drink, and it's later in the evening, and we just, if it has 50 best bar in Asia, we're like, okay, cool, that's some stamp of approval that gives us a little more certainty than the bar down the street that doesn't have that stamp. So
right, because those are vetted lists, or we believe those are vetted lists that are...
Yeah, it's vetted, whatever.
Yeah, yes.
Whatever that means.
Air quotes, vetted, whatever that means. But industry professionals have come in and sort of voted, or, the industry professionals have spoken that these are the top. Definitely worth looking into the lists and understanding how each of them kind of comes to be. You and I have done some background reading onto, we don't need to point fingers or anything like that, but done some background reading into some of the lists and come to understand that they're not as vetted as they necessarily lead on to be, and we'll maybe talk about that in a second here. But it gives a standard. It gives a direction for the average consumer who's not deep in the industry, deep in the rabbit hole, to find themselves at a place that is voted or vetted as one of the best out there. So if there's somebody watching this, hopefully there's somebody watching this,
please,
we would love to hear your ideas on how we can put this together in the world of coffee, and let's maybe chat about that a bit further here.
Or if there's lists out there that we just didn't come across, that'd be great for coffee shops and roasteries. So the more lists we have, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives us a roadmap on how to improve as cafes, roasters, across the board. A couple of takes here. We don't have to read into them too deep. We've kind of covered them a little bit already. I do want to talk about one list that came out earlier in 2024 that I was really excited when I saw it for the first time. A group called Roastful. I think they did a really nice job putting the list together. Maybe that comes with a little bit of bias from my part, because we made the list with our roasting brand, ROSSO Coffee Roasters. We were pretty honored and thrilled to see our name on the list. We're number 32 out of 100 roasters globally. And I believe the number one in Canada. I think I've got written there, the number one roaster in Canada. Lots of great roasters in Canada. There's probably 5 to 10 that made the list. So super cool, super exciting for a couple of Canadian boys to see that. And then I kind of looked deeper into the list, and this is where some of that air quote vetted kind of jargon comes in. I revisited the platform later on this year, and I realized that they're selling coffee beans from all of the top roasters, and a lot of the judges that also are top roasters on the list are selling their product through this platform. And all of a sudden I didn't feel it was overly sincere. It feels a little, cooked up in a way. There's no transparency as to there's transparency as to how the point system works, but there's no showcase as to the points or anything like that. And once there's commercial backing to it and there's monetary value getting exchanged and that sort of thing, it puts a lot of question marks out there. Though I think very admirable to see the list get put out there. They've put the work in, they've put the effort in. I just wish they weren't selling product from the same people on the list and capitalizing on it themselves. What do you think of that? Is that a ridiculous statement or logic path?
No, I think that makes sense. It's good on them. It gets buzz around their website. It's a marketing tool for them as well.
Yeah.
Because people are going to come to the website and see who's the top roaster, et cetera, et cetera. So
it's great for search engine optimization.
Yes,
that's for sure.
But yeah, I think it's interesting. Good on them. Probably helped us sell some coffee and some other roasters sell some coffee. So we just would like to see more of these kind of lists, and then ultimately we get to a guide that is really vetted, and there's some kind of pretty transparent process that they go through to create the list. And again, whatever list we create, people are going to argue about that the top 5 aren't correct or whatever, but the more of these, the better, I think, for all of us.
So where do you think we should draw the line on lists? Should we do cafes? Should we do roasteries? Should we do coffee producers? Should we do just one of those three? Where do we kind of draw the line? What's the community aspect behind it? Just cafes? Just roasters? What are your thoughts?
Why can't we do them all?
Dave, you've always been so optimistic, man. I really admire that about you.
That's not true. I'm not optimistic at all. No, I think why can't we do them all? I think it's good, top producers, top vacations, top 100 lists of lists.
Yeah, okay, now we're talking.
Now we got the meta.
We're getting deep in the lists. So we did a poll this week. We've started to like the polls here. And the overwhelming response was people want a top coffee shop or top roaster. People were less interested in the top producer, not by much, but by a little. And then quite a few people thought all the above. They had the same logic path that you did, Dave.
Yeah, it just helps us vet. We're human beings. We want to process data as easily as possible, and lists make that easy. And then they cause controversy that causes people to talk, and is usually good for all those involved. Usually.
Yeah, usually. And then top 50 or top 100. You prefer a shorter list or a longer list?
Top 50, sure.
Sounded like a tough choice, man.
Well, it's a tough choice. Let's double the list, man.
There's a lot of coffee shops, a lot of roasters, and a lot of...
Okay, what are you picking? You're picking 100?
Yeah, I think I might go 100.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's
solved
the end of
that, man.
I'm glad we did that. Should we do this? You and I?
No.
Okay. I'll go back to doing what I was doing then.
What was that?
Well, I'll go on to the next list: reading, watching, listening, brewing. If anybody's interested,
love it or list it.
Yeah, love it or list it, baby. If anybody's actually interested in seeing a top 50 or top 100 list come to life, let us know. Send us an email, dc@buythedrip.coffee. Comment on this video on YouTube. Respond to this email. We'd love to have the conversation. We think there's probably a community of people back there, a community of people that would back this, that would probably make it a lot easier to do. We just create a template once, send it out to ideally tons and tons of industry professionals around the world, and wait for them to send their criteria back, and all of a sudden we got just data that we need to sort of work through. So it's very possible. It's possibly very easy. Let's talk about it if you're interested. Reading, watching, listening, brewing. Reading, the practice. This is a good one for us, Dave. This is a good one for us. I want you to share with the people.
The magic isn't in the outcome. The magic is in the process of showing up and doing the work. We need to listen to this, man. We haven't been doing the work on these videos.
Right.
But we are now. And it's about the process and not the outcome.
Yeah. What is this about? Just kind of keeping up with your commitments and showing up to follow through with your word? Is that
yeah,
quick
Seth
summary?
Godin is a pretty famous author. He's written, I think he's had a blog since like 2005 or something that he writes on. Really strategic marketing mind, and his big thing is, you just gotta get in the rhythm of doing your art.
Okay.
And loving the process and not looking for the outcome, not looking to get 1 million views in this video. It's about enjoying us bantering back and forth, and as you do that more and more often, it will get better, and then one day those 1 million views will come.
Not this week.
We're starting for 100, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe 200. Maybe we can get to 200 on this one.
Start with achievable goals, and we can make it happen, team.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Watching. I really like this one. I enjoyed this sort of 10-ish minutes watching Arnaldo Hernandez Mundo at a Grand Central Station coffee shop, one of the busiest coffee shops in New York. And
Cafe Grumpy.
Cafe Grumpy, that's right. OG. Just watching him kind of grind through the morning rush and what does a day look like. I think he starts his day at 4 a.m. or something like that, or 3:30 in the morning to, make it happen. And just very admirable. It's a great video showing that not all heroes wear capes. He's important figure in many people's lives that pass through Grand Central Station. Probably doesn't get the love that he deserves on a day-to-day basis, and the video does a pretty incredible job showcasing his day-to-day routine.
And thanks to Riley for sending that in.
Thanks to Riley for sending that in. Appreciate that. What are we listening to this week? Colin Harmon. Speaking of OG.
A little podcast.
Speaking of OGs. Dave, who's Colin Harmon?
Oh, geez. He's a famous coffee competitor from early 2008 to 14, 12, I think.
14?
12, yeah. 14, yeah.
Yeah.
Goes way back. Started a coffee shop, 3FE, on, I believe, the 3rd floor above like a nightclub. And when he opened it, it was kind of this iconic, super cool shop in Ireland. And he wrote a book, What I Know About Running Coffee Shops. And Colin's quite focused on KPIs for coffee shops, kind of breaking it down. So he does a good job in this podcast, breaking down what cafe owners or store managers, baristas, some numbers they should be focusing on, and something our industry doesn't always talk about or highlight as much as maybe we should. So I think it's nice that he's focused a bit of his life work on those things.
And he talks, similar to the practice, he talks about consistency in your goals, right? He talks about set achievable goals, keep up with the work, and kind of dig and dive in on a daily or weekly basis to make that happen. It's about showing up more than anything else, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to be sick and late for work tomorrow. All right, let's move on. Colin, shout out to Colin. You're one
Yeah,
of the greats.
OG.
We appreciate the work that you do. Your coffee shop or your book, What I Know About Running Coffee Shops, fantastic. Thanks for what you do. And check out the Fifth Wave podcast. They're doing some great interviews on there. Brewing. Oh, this was a cool one. You enjoyed
This
this
was
one
a
a
cool
lot,
one.
hey?
Yeah, you brought me in for the defects. I appreciate that.
Hey, man. Anytime. Educational, though, right?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Tell us about it, Cole. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, so this was something we did. We do a monthly coffee camp with our team back home, and it's kind of an hour long educational session, usually about an hour, and we taste different coffees. We kind of zoom into different things so our team can kind of grow in their understanding and perspective of coffee. This was a roast defect kit from Tasters Coffee in Taiwan. The founder of Tasters Coffee, a guy named Jake Hu, created this kit, and it's all drip bags. So pre-dosed out, pre-measured roast defects. So you get 8 defects, and in this case, roast defects zoom in on baked, scorched, overdeveloped, and underdeveloped. So different elements that can happen with, I suppose, misuse of your roaster. When you don't properly profile a coffee, you have too much heat at the wrong time, you stall out on energy, you are too hot at the beginning, maybe you scorch. There's all sorts of factors, and it's really important to tune in a roast profile. So Jake and his team have created these different tasting kits to sort of zoom in and focus on the elements of roasting. We've got other kits that are for acidity, bitterness, sweetness. I believe there's one for texture. And I got to do one of his classes earlier this year. It was a 3-day class, very, very, very insightful, deep dive, like very deep dive on scientific components and elements of coffee. And I thought beneficial to bring one of these kits back home and share it with the team and taste different roast defects, which we do taste, but we don't taste them in a way that we're always necessarily aware. I think a lot of the coffee in the world is baked or scorched or overdeveloped or underdeveloped, but we're not doing it, or we're not tasting or evaluating it in a comparative manner, which therefore makes it not so easy to understand the differentials between those type of flavor attributes associated with each. So I thought a really cool session, very deep dive into roasting.
It was incredibly informative. I think, like you touched on there, not enough people can truly diagnose those defects that are happening from roasting. And anytime we talk about coffee, I think, you got green coffee and there can be breakdowns in quality there. We got roasting, breakdowns in quality there, and then brewing and the breakdowns in quality there. And I think a lot of people struggle on where the issue is coming from. And unfortunately, it can come from all three. But this kind of narrows it in, saying, okay, it's not from the brewing. Ideally, it's not coming from the green. It's only the roast. So this, if you're tasting this flavor, you can now associate it with an actual problem. And that problem is, say, underdeveloped in roasting or baking the coffee and roasting. So I highly, highly recommend people purchase this kit with... They don't have to be roasters. Again, they could be baristas and tasting it, understanding what flavors are driving or issues are driving flavors in coffee, and really, really helpful.
Yeah, totally. It also emulates the Specialty Coffee Association, some of the trainings that they do. If you were to sign up for, I'm not sure which sessions, but some of their advanced sessions would break this down. The roasting sessions might break this down. And then it also follows the score sheet or guideline of the World Coffee Roasting Championship. There's a 0 to 5 intensity scale of each of the 4 baked, scorched, underdeveloped, and overdeveloped. So this gives, I believe, barely is a 1 or 2, and then obvious is the language that he uses for the kit, I think is equivalent to a 4 or 5 in intensity on those scales. So very cool. I enjoyed it. Don't necessarily want to do it again, but if there's a group session to do it, would happily participate. Check it out. Taster's Coffee in Taiwan. Thanks, Jake. Big brewing vibes, Dave.
Oh, your favorite part, big guy.
I love it.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see this week's.
Do we have an AI one or do we have a real one?
I hope not.
I think it's an AI one. Oh, God. Who does these?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
A prompt: significant and far-fetched plants with a surreal and dreamlike atmosphere.
Come on.
I hope this aligns with your vision of an imaginative and magical tropical coffee shop. Maybe something you'd find in Chiang Mai. Kind of looks like it could be in Chiang Mai, don't you think?
No.
Or Avatar.
Yeah, it's like Avatar meets Nespresso.
Whatever, dude. This cafe sure knows how to grow its customer base.
No.
Oh, we're heavily rooted in the community.
I'm submitting real photos of brew bars from now on. I've had enough.
I feel like they've been there forever and just starting to blossom. Dave, that's like you and me, man. We've been here forever, but we're just starting to blossom. Come on. Okay, what else we got?
Man,
please,
move on.
Somebody send us a nice photo of your brew bar, okay?
Yeah.
Dave tried to submit one of his, and my goodness, was it a terrible, terrible looking thing.
What?
Quality
it was great.
it was the quality of the photo. It was the.
Put some respect.
I had to put this plant cafe in.
Forget
Grind
your
Diaries.
plant cafe.
Dave, this week as a group.
Oh, we're down. We're down big time.
Uh-oh. People, we didn't run as far. We ran from
Or as
Paris
much.
to Brussels. Or as much, yeah. Let's see here. The miracle isn't that I finished. The miracle is that I had the courage to start. Man, these one-liners are just so motivating.
Man.
Unbelievable. If you're looking to get active, we're out there moving and grooving. Feel free to connect with us on Strava. I think there's maybe 25, 30 members in our group. Maybe 25 members, because 35 activities for 30 people doesn't seem so much. Join us on Strava. We're just looking to cover some distance, have some laughs, have some fun. Maybe in the future we'll do some real life meetups at global coffee expos or something like that. But yeah, just looking to.
I think we can do that. I think maybe we get to 100 people. We can do that.
Dave, we got the power, man.
We're fundraising for it.
We got the power. Yeah.
We're
Let's do it.
fundraising. We got the list.
That's it for this week, folks. That's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in to the weekly here by The Drip. That was week number 6, I think.
We appreciate it if you made it to the end.
You're the best.
Share it with your friends.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're putting out some great content. I still got this plan in the background.
Nice. Man. Views are up.
Unbelievable. The cinematography, the special effects in some of these episodes. Fire shooting from the background while Dave's doing some heavy hitter quotes. Unbelievable stuff. Thanks
I'm excited to see your background next week. I can't wait to see a new background. 2 weeks without the bookshelf, you're a new man.
Oh, life has changed. I'm free.
You're free. You're free. You're free. You moved out of your mom's house. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up.
It's okay.
All right, people. See you next week.
Thanks for being here.